Mm-hmm.
We're back with another episode of No Place Like Homaha. I'm your host, JD Wonder,
Heads up to
alongside
the
my co-hosts, Nick
listeners
Hendricks and Mikey Love.
that Nick is gaslighting people today. So just a
That's
fair
true.
I am
warning to the
not.
listeners.
It's always been the truth.
Bro. When these guys make fun of me for actually doing my job outside of this,
Alleged job. Why don't you let the
actually,
people know how you're
Happened to the
cheating on
people.
us? Let the people know.
I'm not cheating on you.
Typical gaslighter situation.
Really, because there's a whole other podcast that would disagree.
I didn't even do that this week either because I've been hunting the last like 6
Allegedly.
days straight.
Allegedly.
Actually, it is not
I
allegedly. I
lost
can
the
prove it.
rankings.
Mm-mm.
You lost the
Ah.
rankings. I got the rankings pulled up right here
All right.
on good old Division One.
Did
baseball,
have some
baby.
changes over the weekend. As far as we now have a new number 1 seed.
Yes, sir.
The Old Dominion
Allegedly,
Lions. Let's
Nope.
go, baby.
Not even
Nope.
close. All right, folks, it's time for our favorite time of the week. It is good old Nick Hendricks' time to rattle off the rankings as fast as we go. So we're gonna start
Who is
through
this
1
guy?
through
Who's this
Yeah,
dude
we're gonna
named
start
Giz?
through
Done it in
1
like
through
7 weeks.
1 through 10. Here we go. Starting out the new number 1, the good old Texas A&M Aggies take it. They're sitting at a 32-4 record. Going down the list, we got Arkansas, Kentucky, Tennessee, Oregon State, Clemson, Duke, Florida State, East Carolina, Virginia, going 11 through 20. North Carolina, Wake Forest, Vanderbilt, Louisiana. Then you've got Oklahoma State, Oregon. Wow, I about slipped up there. UC Irvine drops a couple of spots after getting beat by San Diego, Alabama, Coastal, and then you've got South Carolina. And then to round off the top 25 in the order from 21 to 25, Arizona, West Virginia, after beating UCF this weekend, huge in a sweep in the Big 12. Virginia Tech, Georgia hops into the top 25. And then you got Dallas Baptist, who dropped all the way down from 15 to 25. Teams to drop out of the rankings. UCF, who was 17, Mississippi State after they got swept in Oxford after getting beat on 2 walk-offs back-to-back days, and then Nebraska dropped from 23 after the Rutgers series, and Florida finally falls out of the top 25, and I think we were all waiting for this moment because, guys, the Gators have been shaky at best.
Old Dominion's better.
They lost the series, didn't they, to South Carolina?
Yeah, Florida has not had a good year. And it's just it's been most of the pitching staff. I mean, the bullpen for them has not been the hottest. And you take a look at the teams around the SEC. The one like Texas A&M run production absolutely off the charts. Tennessee, who is on a big win streak right now, I believe it's 7 games. They're sitting at 30-6, which Josh and I were talking about this before the show. We're waiting for another Tennessee flopperooski. But the run production there is huge. And then South Carolina has hopped back into the rankings. The Gamecocks swinging the bats well, and then a team that flies under the radar. This goes all the way to Mikey's favorite conference in the entire college sports world, the Pac-12. Arizona's on a hot 11-game win streak.
Do I have the ability to mute this kid?
Oh,
I should be given that ability because I won't stand for this gaslighting that's happened today or his blasphemy.
I will say, before we hopped on the show at the gym today, I saw on Twitter the way that UC Irvine lost to San Diego. It was the same way that Arkansas lost a national title, except this one was fair. A walk-off by San Diego to a pop fly in between the shortstop and the left fielder, and it falls on the line. And it got whiffed for San Diego to walk it off. That is
Terrible. Boo.
We need a not top 10 play for that. One team, though, Kentucky, in the top 3. Can we give it up
Kentucky's
for these Wildcats, baby? I don't even know if it's sneaky good at this point anymore. Kentucky is an absolute dog. I've watched a couple of games in their last couple of series. I mean, they've been hit or miss a little bit on a couple of them, but Kentucky is swinging it well. I like watching this team. They're hot and they're ready to go.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, it's no surprise though that the top 5 teams are all SEC teams.
That is, yeah.
So, I mean, just like we talked about earlier though, Duke is still a front runner kind of in that ACC, and that's kind of a competitive conference as well. It's been kind of hit and miss, but yeah, watching that Kentucky team has been real impressive kind of all around. I think Arkansas shouldn't be like they'll be back. I think they'll need to take a weekend series.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but just like you said it though, Texas A&M bats have been out of this world. Um, the one reason that I think that Arkansas was in the top for so long, they were number one for so long, was just their pitching. But you
Yeah.
can't rely on that 1-2 punch all the time.
And that's something that we've kind of seen a little bit with Wake Forest as well. I mean, Chase Burns has been doing absolutely outstanding for the Demon Deacons on the mound, but like I mean, you look at some of the bats that are coming around in this series when you have guys like Cordone hitting over 20 home runs so far and it's not even May yet. I mean, you're having teams like Kentucky who are hitting their way through the SEC right now. Like I'm looking at their schedule. They've had 3 straight SEC sweeps over all good teams. Ole Miss was the start of it, and then you had this 11th ranked Alabama team a couple of weeks ago, and then last week playing against a good Auburn team, sweeping them on the road as well. And now they got Tennessee coming up. I mean, pitching, I think this year has been one of those problems of as soon as they start getting hit around, the whole entire staff is getting lit up.
Mm-hmm.
And Texas A&M has been a team to be able to prove that as well.
Yeah, I think we're starting to see like there's no complete teams. I think that it was a weird thing last year when LSU, like their bullpen was just atrocious the entire season, and then they got into the College World Series, and then their pitching staff, like they went 13 point something innings, I think, without allowing a run or something like that. Like it was
It
some
went
stat
nuts.
like that where it was just crazy. Um, but I mean, and we could see that again this year where it's just all of a sudden those those SEC schools constantly playing each other. If the pitchers do their homework on those guys, they can figure out how to get guys out, how to fill up the strike zone, and just be competitive.
Well, and you talked about it earlier too. I mean, you look at the ACC, and the ACC race isn't that far off either. I mean, you got in the top 25, you got Duke and Florida State kind of rounding themselves out on that same spot. Virginia's hot back up there, which was a team that we saw last year. They were very, very successful. You were wondering how they were going to do without Kyle Teal. Well, now Virginia's still back there, a very strong, just good small ball team. Virginia does a lot of the small offensive details well. And then you got Wake Forest with Chase Burns out of the bullpen. The Raging Cajuns are like one of the only, besides East Carolina and Coastal, teams that are not in a Power Five. And then I guess you could throw UC Irvine in that mix as well. I forgot about them. Then Dallas Baptist to round it out. But I mean, that's still a tough race to be in when you're those teams. And UC Irvine is a very historic program, and they're having a fantastic year. But we're still looking to see if Dallas Baptist out of the Patriot League can still climb their way through after that was a big weekend blow for the good old Patriots.
We usually see them kind of either make it to the regionals or super regionals, and they just haven't quite made that step to Omaha yet. But just like you talked about too, it's real hard because they know they have to win their conference to be able to get into the discussion for regionals and stuff like that.
Well, and right now, especially too, like when you want to talk about like regional seeding, I mean, there's a lot of teams that could kind of make their way, really make it come down to the wire in this and it's still only April, but I mean, when you're looking at the battle of the Big 12, I mean, West Virginia has rattled off a couple of good series wins. Oklahoma State has been one of the hottest they've been in the last couple of years for Cowboy teams. There's only 2 teams ranked in the Big 12 for that, so they could really kind of set themselves up nice for when it comes down to conference play and tournament time. The SEC, obviously, we talked about it. I mean, 4 out of the 5 top teams are all SEC guys. And then you got one Pac-12 team sneaking in there in Oregon State. So, I mean, it's way too early to predict that with your top 25 or with your top 16 national seeds. But I think when it comes down to it, a lot of these teams will stay where they're. I would like to say they would like pretty much stay where they're at, except for obviously the SEC teams kind of flip-flop it around. But still, we've seen that get screwed over in the past as well.
Yes,
Does
I
Mikey
agree.
have anything to add? Where the
I
heck did
legitimately
Mikey
have
Love
no
go?
idea where Mikey went.
This is becoming a
I'm gonna
two-person
text him.
podcast.
I'm gonna text him.
This isn't even gaslighting anymore, folks. Mikey is currently not here.
I will not stand for it. All right, I'm still here, and I would like you to not gaslight Mikey in this way. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I'll defend him till the day I die.
So the day we die. But I will
Anyways.
say though, if you wanted a good weekend of college baseball and some just back-to-back games of power, I hate throwing it to the SEC again, but the good old rivalry between Mississippi State and Ole Miss, that was a weekend. Mike Bianco gets ejected the 8th inning on Saturday night before the Rebs walk it off on a base knock. And he got ejected off a bat flip.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of the fun police being
Very
out
much so.
there. I hate to see it now at all levels where it's like you see guys at the major league level just having horrible calls. You have the college level where it's like, oh, you need to literally like we're judging you based off of your attitude during the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just getting ridiculous to that point. Like there are times when I'm like, it's just unnecessary to do, excuse me, to do certain things, but then there's also times where it's like you have no pulse of the game.
Yeah.
And that's what's frustrating the most because it's like if you have a momentum shift or all this kind of stuff and you're hyping up your boys, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that.
No.
If you're sitting there chirping the guy when you're down runs, there's also nothing wrong with that. Like you're just bad. Like I don't understand either side. It's just I just think that it's become so soft to where it's like the umpire is just the end all be all and he's just like, okay, it's my way. And then if you're, if you believe otherwise and we'll see you later. Like it just unnecessary.
Well, I saw again on Twitter before getting on the show, Oregon State had a dude hit an absolute freaking nuke and was hyping himself up because it was a big game situation. And the umpire was literally running down with him to first base. And he had to turn around and say, no, dude, I'm good. Like, I don't know what you're doing. It's
Yeah.
the same difference. It's like you said, there are certain times where that kind of a moment is it is good. It's good for the team. It's good for the players. Yeah, it's not necessarily good on a sportsmanship level, but at the same time, if a pitcher does the same thing, slams the door on a dude on a 3-2 count with bases loaded in a rivalry game, that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to be hyped up. You're going to walk off the field. You're going to be fist pumping. You might chirp a little bit. Like, as long as it doesn't get too heated, you're going to be fine. And I think they're trying to take away the fun aspect of that. And then I think you were kind of mentioning it. If anybody didn't see it, Wyatt Langford, the former number 3 pick in the good old draft last year, Angel Hernandez rung him up on 3 straight pitches, all outside, at least 2 balls away. Somebody get that man out of baseball. Whoa, he's back.
I miss.
Where did you go?
Talking about Angel Hernandez.
Let my dog out.
We're talking about Angel Hernandez.
Oh, the trash can?
Thought there was going to be more to that, but no.
Basically just talking about how umpires kind of make the game about themselves at all levels, where it's just like they can get away with atrocious calls. And people can also disagree with them if they believe a bat flip was too much or if they believe somebody said something too far, they can just eject them.
The fun police.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no rebuttal. I'm just kidding.
Would you say that you're pro umpire?
I'm pro Angel Hernandez. See you later.
Oh, you're pro Angel Hernandez. All right. Hot take.
I now have a reason to gaslight you for that statement.
I want the record to show that he has admitted to gaslighting us.
I
Got
now
him.
have a
He
reason
did.
to.
Got him.
I have not been
Oh,
gaslighting
boy.
the entire day.
All right. Looking then at the week and the weekend. The week series again. I mean, Gonzaga and Oregon will be a pretty decent game. Coastal Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia, and Old Dominion. See that?
The good old Monarchs, baby.
Otherwise,
Science.
Creighton, Nebraska will play.
Pissing me off.
Oh,
Yeah, that's about
rumor. Speaking of Creighton and Nebraska, for all you rowdy baseball fans out there is a little bit of some good news. If you guys are wanting to have some beverages and dogs at a good old college baseball game, the new athletic director, let's give it up for this man, putting some beverages in good old Haymarket Park. Wanting to, anyways.
Heck yeah.
You're an Iowa fan. Stop talking.
I am a Husker fan.
You're an Iowa fan. You live in Iowa.
Whoa, that is
Association of Penn does.
that is slander right there, sir.
No, that is me speaking facts. There's a
I
difference.
live in Iowa. I hate the Hawkeyes.
So you hit the
live in Iowa,
Longhorns.
you did.
I'll believe you. So you hit the Longhorns.
Horns down.
I can't do that, but I can say I hate the Hawkeyes.
Yep. He's an
Confirmed.
Iowa, no
You hate
Texas
the
fan.
Huskers, love the Hawkeyes, and are a Texas fan.
Yep.
Okay, what would you rather? Let's settle this debate right now. If you had to see me put on one color in this state of Iowa, would you rather see me put on Iowa State or Iowa?
Shit brown.
I'd rather jump in front of a moving bus.
I might be on board with that. I might see if I have a wingsuit attached to my body.
Well, if I put on shit brown, I'd be putting on Wartburg, so. Shout out to the good old American Rivers Conference chirp there.
Oh, if there was a reason to bring them into this, what have they done?
Oh, he went to college. It's crazy. All right, looking then at the weekend series, we got Texas A&M and Alabama opening up on Thursday, North Carolina and NC State, Vanderbilt, Florida, and Oklahoma and the Storm and Mormons at BYU.
Mormons, I love it.
We got shout out my coworker for that one. He's pretty dope. Florida State and Wake Forest will then start the series on Friday. Virginia, Georgia Tech. Georgia and Ole Miss. Tennessee and Kentucky. That'll be a big one to kind of watch, as Kentucky, like we've talked about earlier, has been red hot. Tennessee nipping right on their tail. Arkansas, South Carolina, another top 20 matchup. Duke, Virginia Tech. Oklahoma State and Kansas State. Maryland and Nebraska will open up, see if Nebraska can crack back into the top 25. Rutgers and Iowa. Rutgers looking to take the series from Iowa if they can then establish themselves as the leader in kind of the Big Ten. West Virginia, Texas Tech, Auburn, Mississippi State, both not ranked right now, however, still competitive ball clubs. TCU and Texas also edging outside of the top 25. Oregon and Stanford, Oregon State, California, Arizona, and Washington State will also play this weekend.
A lot of good college baseball coming up this weekend. I love it.
Kind of deciders, too, as far as like rankings within their own conferences.
Yeah, you could see the couple on here that definitely are big names for the SEC, at least to start off. You got the Kentucky-Tennessee series, Texas A&M and Auburn. That could be a huge one for the top seeds in that one. Coastal and Louisiana, that game could be very huge when it comes to Sun Belt Conference play coming down the line. So there's a lot of big games. Do we got a big pimpin' player of the week there, J-Dub?
I would say that the big pimpin' player of the week. If I can
We got
pull it.
sunglasses? I got sunglasses.
I got nothing to contribute that I'm giving buck at you. Other than Nick just gaslighting us the entire day.
Mikey took his shower and just hopped on here just to go let his dog out and then be a part of a conversation for 1 second.
Yes.
Hey, I've been talking for more than 1 second, so here you go with the gaslighting again. Appreciate
Does
it.
that even classify as gaslighting?
Yep.
At this point, dude, I don't even know what else doesn't classify as gaslighting.
I would say
Putting horns down.
the big pimpin' player of the week will probably go to Zane Adams on the mound for Alabama, pitching an absolute gem against Arkansas. He had 8 innings pitched, no runs, no earned runs, 4 hits, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk.
Like this. And so you take it, and you take it, and then you hit it like it's a little, like you're revving up a motorcycle and go all the way.
So Zane Adams, player of the week.
Big pimpin'.
Big dickin'. Because Nick's being a dick.
All right. I believe that's about it for what we got.
Thank you. It was very informative for me to be a part of this conversation today. I really appreciate everything we talked to you guys about.
Bro, you're the one who left halfway through.
I'd like to let you know that we are sponsored by Canes for this episode, and that Nick is gaslighting a little bastard.
Canes.
I'm on board with Canes, dude.
I'm on board.
That's goated. I want to take a bath in cane sauce, personally.
Yep,
Big
we're gonna
fan.
check Tuesday out of that freaking comment.
All right.
And just move right on.
Shout out our other sponsors as well. Our partnership with
Nuts.
Cronio Media, fantastic work with those guys, putting us out on all podcasting platforms. You also got Dubby and Shank It Golf. You can use code Cronio Media, all one word, to 10 to 15% off your order. You can find us on everything because we are everywhere all the time.
Because Nick doesn't want to put us on the hub.
Yeah, yet to
There
be
it is.
determined there. So 95% of the places you can find us. You can find us on YouTube, no place like Homaha. Please like and subscribe to the channel. You can find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts from. Please subscribe to us on there as well. You can find us on Twitter and TikTok at Homaha Pod for any updates on episodes being released. I think that's it. Any other questions, comments, concerns from the gallery?
I don't have any questions, comments, or concerns, sir. That is all Mikey is concerned with right there.
I'm with it.
Why is there one chat? What are Mikey chatted? What are you eating?
Oh, yeah.
Theater.
I was eating tacos. Getting after it.
So, not love and gaslighted. All right, awesome. Feel alone in this world now. Thank you.
Fantastic.
And Ginger. What else can go wrong?
A lot of other things I can't say.
Yep, we're going to catch you next week. See you guys later.